All of us have experienced three things in all our entire lives: sadness, grief, and guilt. That's exactly what I felt this entire month of 2023. March, exactly. I live in a town called Maybrook in Vermont. Maybrook is just like any other town. Schools, buildings, stores, people walking about their days. You get it. But this one Wednesday morning changed everything. There was an elementary school, and there was a third grade class. And in that third grade class was my younger sister. Her name was Haley, and she was only 9. She was about to become 10 in April, but she was currently 9 when all of this happened. You see, I'm a freshman. I just started high school, and I was doing the typical freshman things. Talking with my friends, chilling, just, doing all the school stuff. The whole year had gone by, and then March hit. I have a mom and dad. They both work at the same factory. The factory that makes the clothing in our city. All they have to do is, spread the clothing and, cover it in whatever they want. So it was just the four of us. Mother, son, and father and daughter. We were a happy family. Me being 14, my mom and dad being 43, and my sister being 9. But on one Pacific Tuesday, that was the last time I've ever seen my sister. We ate dinner like we did every single night, and we went to bed. During the middle of the night, at exactly 2:17 a.m., I thought I heard running footsteps right outside my room, and down that hall was Haley's room. When the voices or footsteps went past my room, I went to the door and opened it slowly, and I saw a shadow coming from the outlet that was connected into the outlet at the bottom of the stairs. A shadow had ran past it, and then was a girl. I immediately left my room and I went after the thing, thinking that someone must have broken into the house. Then I saw Haley opening the front door, running onto our porch, and running across our front yard with her arms out like a couple into the side, like to her side. I immediately ran after her, but after like a minute, I lost her after she went through a tree that was across the street. A kind of little forest area where if you run in there when it's nighttime, no one will see you where you're going to go. And that's what happened. I lost sight of her, and I lost the sound of her footsteps hitting the sound of the leaves and the grass. I don't know why, but I didn't tell anyone because I thought it was all a dream. I thought that this was all a dream and that tomorrow I would wake up and see my sister laying in her room and we'll go to school like any other day. But that exact Wednesday morning, I woke up and went to my sister's room. Haley wasn't there. I told my parents about it, and then I remembered the supposed dream and remembered that it actually happened. Did my sister really run out of her house? And why was she running into the night? She was not supposed to be up. So, of course, we told the police about what happened, and that's when the news struck us. Every single one of her classmates, including her, also got up in the middle of the night at exactly 2:17 a.m. and ran away from home. Cameras caught it, and they knew that all the kids left at 2:17 a.m. is because some clocks were broken from what the children accidentally tripped on the cord. So when the clock fell, it kind of stopped the clock, which proves that all the children left at 2:17 a.m. But all of the classmates running away and just never be seen again is disturbing. The whole town was shook to its core. The police and FBI checked the security cameras of the whole city. There was some camera footage of the kids running. There were some that were recorded from doorbell footage, from Ring cameras, to some that were recorded from street cameras to nearby building cameras. But they didn't show where the kids went after. One footage where there was Haley running right past the local hardware store, and it set off the motion sensor light, which caused the camera to then detect her movement. But she unfortunately ran out of the frame. And that was the last time I saw her. It's been 30 days, and ever since this whole situation with this missing children's incident, the whole town has never been the same. My mom and dad have also never been the same. Nowadays, they just cry in their room, hoping and praying that my sister would return. I'm also very sad about what happened. I could have told my parents about what happened, and that maybe me and my parents could have got in our car or probably went to find her. But I knew it was too late now. She was gone, and so was her classmates. Some of the police and the whole city blamed my sister's teacher, Mrs. Justine Dandy. She denied everything. She claimed that she didn't claim that she had any part of taking the children away from their homes. Some people believed her because it was clear that these children left on their own into the middle of the night. There was no forced entry, and no one made them go away. Nobody forced them at all. But Justine would still be accused of kidnapping 17 children from her class and taking her wherever she took them. But I highly doubt it. This teacher would have been too good at acting if she was lying. So I believed her. The school was closed as they continued the investigation, but no leads were found. Only thing they found was just the knockdown alarm clocks on the kids' bedside tables. Because remember, they got up in the middle of the night and tripped on the cord, and the clock kind of broke, which stopped the toy clock alarm, and it specifically said 2:17. Specifically 2:17. So, after 30 days after the entire incident, we had a school assembly at the elementary school. It was all of the parents of the city, and I decided to go to just hear what was going to happen. Justine made her statement, and she said that she loved those kids, and she doesn't have any idea of where they could have gone. This kind of angered a couple parents, calling her a liar, a witch. Then this one man who happened to be a father of a kid that I actually used to know. Matthew, his name was. Matthew Graff. I knew Matthew for about 1 month. You see, I played baseball in my 8th grade year in middle school. And when I was up the bat, I would occasionally see him and his friends just talking outside the gate of the baseball field. And since I was a nice kid, I waved to him and he waved back. I talked to him maybe once or twice, and that was it. And Matthew was in my sister's class, so he was also one of the children who ran away. But Matthew's dad, who I knew personally, Archer, was completely different and the opposite of Matthew. I knew that Archer had been in the army, and that he had a bunch of dog tags. He kind of scared me a little bit. So, back in the auditorium, Archer stood up and yelled at Justine as she was making her statement. He exactly said these words to the whole auditorium, including Justine. "We're talking about 17 kids and one classroom. Why just her classroom? Why only hers?" The principal, Mr. Miller, immediately pulled Justine away from the stand, and the whole stand thing kind of went on for a couple minutes as parents talked to their condolences about these children who just vanished. And I also made a statement saying how I wanted to see my sister again, and then we went home. I didn't get a wink of sleep, knowing that still, I could have been the reason of her disappearance. I could have went after her and maybe ran a little faster. I did used to play in track, and I did kind of run faster than her. I'm 14 and she was 9, so I could have maybe catched up to her and maybe stopped her. But my parents would comfort me, telling me that if you really did see what happened, and you were probably scared, so you don't have to blame yourself. That's what they said. I just want to let you guys know that every time I walk around town and I see a missing poster of those children and my sister Haley, I just get more guilt. I would blame myself for just not running after her. Like, what was wrong with me? So after a couple more days of guilt tripping, I decided that it's been way too long. I need to figure out why these children left at a specific time and find out where was my sister. Before I started the investigation, let me tell you guys something about anyone. Let me tell you something. So the day where the children were found missing, how I mentioned that there were 17 children. Well, it turns out there was actually 18 children. What I'm trying to say is that when Mrs. Gandy went to her classroom and found all of her seats empty, there was only one seat that was taken, and that seat belonged to a 10-year-old boy named Alex Lilly. And he was the only one that didn't get up in the middle of the night and run away from home. The police asked him, and he said that he didn't have any idea where his classmates could have gone. And if the classmates were talking about running away from home to do something, he didn't hear any kids planning about it. So that's when people started suspecting Alex. The last time I heard of Alex is that his family covered up his house with newspaper to cover up the windows from stopping from photographers and people trying to take photos of the house. And the very last thing I heard is that his aunt was staying there because his parents had a stroke. I don't really know. But I ignored that and probably wondered why was Alex the only one who didn't run away from home. But let's go back to the research. So I grabbed the map from the town hall and I placed it against my desk in my room. And I grabbed a marker and I pulled up my phone and I watched and rewatched the footage of my sister running from our porch, across the yard, across the street, and into the small forest. Reminder, we had like a little doorbell camera, ring camera. So yes, in the footage you can see my sister running away. You can see a little bit of me like standing on our porch calling after her, but then me going back inside. So I did the research, and from what I could tell, she ran straight towards the forest. And a couple days after that, the whole incident, I remember that I could see a cell phone tower from our house, and my sister was heading in that specific direction. So that's when I did my research. One Sunday, I went around the town talking to the parents of the children who ran away from home. I talked to father and mother, sister or brother, niece, uncle, grandparent, grandma, and they gave me some camera footage about what happened. Some of them were recorded outside the house, some were recorded inside the house, but they didn't really catch anything inside. It was just their kid getting out of bed and running downstairs and into the dark outside. So I got all the footage and I went back towards my house. I was in my room and I grabbed a red marker and I circled every single house that the classmates were living in and where they ran to. I drew a red marker, and sure enough, I found a connection. The kids were running in a Pacific lane. They were all running to, you guessed it, the cell phone tower. So then I came up with an insane theory. That sounds stupid. Maybe there was some radio cells thing that caught their attention, and I don't know, it was a stupid theory. But I ignored that, and that's when it hit me. The only kid that the only parents that I didn't talk to were the Lily parents, Alex's parents, the exact kid who didn't run away from home. So, realized something. The lines weren't heading to the cell phone tower. They were all heading to one direction. And I recognized that street. Purgatory. That was the street Alex Lily lived on. And that's why I figured it out. All of the kids, except Alex, went to Alex's house. I mean, that has to be the truth. All the lines are pointing to there. Exactly. They weren't heading to the cell phone tower. They were heading towards there. I circled Alex's house, and I knew that I had to find a way to get inside that house. So I got on my bike, and during the middle of the night, I kind of stayed there and watched the house for a couple of seconds. Knowing that maybe what I'm doing is wrong, but breaking in, there's only one chance to do this. And if my sister is really down there, then I'll be able to save her. I'm currently recording this message at exactly 5:30 a.m. The sun is beginning to rise. Yes, I know I said night, but I kind of snuck out a little late. So it's currently 5:30. I could see a little bit of the sky turning dark blue. Looks like the sun's about to come up. So I gotta hurry and make sure that the parents and probably Alex won't wake up to find me trying to break in. I'll probably sneak through the back door, make sure the front door is locked. But, yeah. So the message is currently being recorded at 5:31 a.m. And, I'll make another statement if I find anything. But if something does go wrong, my name is Walter Callahan. I'm 15 years old, and I'm the brother of a missing victim. I'm currently investigating this house in Purgatory Avenue. I'm gonna go inside now. Thanks for listening to my story, and if anything happens, I'll make another story. Wish me luck. Story time 2 of this story coming soon.